Long before the beginning of time, the world existed in chaos, a formless void without shape or structure. There were no stars, no earth, no beings, no rhythm of time. And yet, within that endless emptiness, there was a presence, an essence that would later become the pulse of the universe. It was not a god, not a figure that could be seen or touched, but a consciousness. The seed of creation, preservation, and destruction. From this primal chaos emerged a force, the force of life itself, Shiva. He was the embodiment of destruction, yet his destruction was not an end, it was a necessary act for the cycle of life. His cosmic dance, called the Tandava, was the movement that set the universe into motion, destroying and recreating an endless cycle of life and death. Shiva was not a being defined by time, but a presence that transcended it. He was the god who governed the rhythms of the cosmos, both terrifying and necessary. Shiva's story is a story without a beginning or an end, a story that reflects the eternal cyclical nature of the universe. His role as a god is one of paradoxes. He is both destroyer and protector, both ascetic and passionate, both terrifying and serene. His presence on earth brings life, but also decay. He embodies the transformative force of the universe, where creation is born from destruction. Shiva was not born in the traditional sense. While gods like Vishnu and Brahma have clear origins, Shiva existed before time itself. He is the Adi Yogi, the first yogi, and his presence in the universe was not created by the will of another deity, but emerged spontaneously as a part of the natural order. He was always there, even before creation began. He was not formed by events or created by the hands of gods. He simply existed. In the beginning, there was peace, balance, and harmony. The gods lived in their realms, the earth was tranquil, and all was as it should be. But as creation flourished, the inevitable cycle of destruction began to loom. With the growth of the universe came the necessity for its destruction, so that new life could be born. The cosmos needed a destroyer, a force capable of clearing the old to make room for the new. Shiva manifested as the god of destruction, but his destruction was not evil. It was the force that cleansed the world, that allowed it to evolve and regenerate. His role was to destroy what had grown stagnant, to wipe away the remnants of decay so that life could continue to unfold. Without Shiva, there would be no new growth, no new creation. He was the god who swept away the old and made space for the new. Shiva's form, when it finally emerged from the cosmic ether, was that of a wild, untamed ascetic. His body was often depicted covered in ash, the symbol of the impermanence of all things. His hair was tied in a wild knot atop his head, symbolizing both the infinite energy that flowed through him and his detachment from worldly concerns. His third eye, which rested in the center of his forehead, was the mark of his wisdom, of his ability to see beyond the physical realm. This eye could destroy anything in its gaze, for it could see through illusion and into the truth of things. Shiva's skin was often portrayed as blue, the color of the vast sky or the deep ocean, signifying his infinite reach and his connection to both the heavens and the earth. His necklace of skulls represented the impermanence of life and the power of time, a reminder that all things, even life, are fleeting. The serpent around his neck was the symbol of his mastery over even the most dangerous creatures of the world, a mark of his supreme control over all forces. Though Shiva was often seen as a solitary figure, detached from the world and immersed in meditation, he was not without family. He was married to Parvati, the goddess of fertility, love, and devotion. Parvati, the daughter of the Mountain King, was the balance to Shiva's fierce, untamed nature. Where Shiva was ascetic and removed, Parvati was nurturing and compassionate. She was the force that tempered Shiva's destructive energy and brought balance to the universe. Together, Shiva and Parvati had two sons, Ganesha, the elephant-headed god, and Kartikeya, the god of war. Ganesha's birth is one of the most famous myths in Hindu tradition. Parvati, in her desire for a child, created Ganesha from the dirt of her own body. When she asked him to guard her while she bathed, Shiva, not knowing who he was, encountered Ganesha, and, in a fit of rage, beheaded him. Parvati was devastated, and Shiva, realizing his mistake, replaced Ganesha's head with that of an elephant. From that moment, Ganesha became the god of wisdom and the remover of obstacles, honored by millions of followers worldwide. Shiva's role in the universe was never one of passive observation. He was deeply connected to the world and its people, but his power was not one of mere preservation. Shiva's cosmic dance, the Tandava, was a symbol of the cyclical nature of the universe. It was the dance that created, destroyed, and recreated the world in an endless, eternal rhythm. Shiva's dance was not simply one of destruction, but of transformation. The fire of his dance was the fire that cleansed the world of the old and made room for the new. The movements of his dance were the very movements of the cosmos. In his Tandava, Shiva represented the endless cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. He was the destroyer, but his destruction was not the end. It was the necessary force that allowed for new life to grow. As he danced, the universe was created, sustained, and eventually destroyed, only for it to be reborn once again. Shiva's destruction was always followed by creation, and this cycle continued for eternity, as timeless as the universe itself. Shiva was not only the destroyer of the universe, but also its preserver. He maintained the delicate balance between creation and destruction, holding both in his hands like two halves of the same whole. His cosmic dance was the pulse of the universe, the rhythm of life and death. In his role as the destroyer, Shiva was also the transformer, the one who cleared the path for new creation. Without destruction, there could be no creation, and without creation, there could be no life. Shiva's abode was the sacred Mount Kailash, a remote peak in the Himalayas. Kailash was not only a physical place, but a spiritual one, the seat of Shiva's divine power. It was here, in the solitude of the mountains, that Shiva meditated and performed his cosmic dance. Kailash was a place where the physical and spiritual worlds intersected, where the energy of the universe was concentrated, and where Shiva's power could be felt in every rock and every breeze. Though Shiva was often depicted as a solitary yogi, meditating in silence, his influence was felt throughout the world. His worshippers, the Shaivites, believed that Shiva was the ultimate reality, the source of all life, and the force that governed the cycles of the universe. Shiva's devotees were drawn to him because of his ability to transcend the limitations of the physical world. He was both ascetic and passionate, both destructive and creative, both the source of suffering and the source of salvation. Shiva's worship was not just about reverence for a god, but about embracing his teachings. He taught the path of yoga, the practice of self-discipline, meditation, and spiritual growth. Through yoga, one could transcend the limitations of the physical body and connect with the divine. Shiva, as the first yogi, was the embodiment of this path. His followers practiced meditation, recited mantras, and sought to align themselves with the rhythms of the universe, just as Shiva did in his cosmic dance. Shiva's power was not only in his destruction of the old, but in his creation of the new. He was the force that brought life into being, and the force that returned it to the void. He was both the beginning and the end, the creator and the destroyer. His influence reached far beyond the physical realm, touching the hearts of his devotees and guiding them on their spiritual journey. Shiva's legacy is one of transformation and renewal. He is the god who teaches us that destruction is not to be feared, but embraced as a necessary force for growth. He is the God who reminds us that life is cyclical, that death is not an end, but a transition, a necessary part of the cycle of existence. He is the God who dances the dance of the universe, and in his dance we find both the destruction of the old and the creation of the new. In the end, Shiva's story is one of eternal paradox, where creation and destruction are intertwined, where life and death are not opposites, but parts of the same cycle. Shiva teaches us that we must embrace both sides of existence, that we must accept the impermanence of life and the inevitability of change. Only by doing so can we understand the true nature of the universe and our place within it.